Hello, my name is Richard Sims. I work for the Institution of Engineering and Technology, and this is the organisation which produces the Inspec database. Inspec is one of the resources you have available to you at your library, and it is this that I will be giving you a short introduction to today. First of all, what is Inspec? It is what is known as a bibliographic database. It contains a large collection of abstracts, each of which describes the contents of documents which are found in a range of different publication types. It also provides the sets of tools which you will find extremely effective for searching through abstracts to find the ones which are most relevant to you. Finding the information you need, either to set you on the right path for your project or to keep you up to date with what others are doing, it's not always an easy thing to do. You are looking for a relatively few number of records, and these could be hidden away within any one of thousands of journals, conferences, which are published annually. To find these elusive papers, it is necessary to look at as many relevant publications as possible, while at the same time ensure that as many irrelevant papers as possible are filtered out of your search. By doing this, you are maximising the chances of finding the papers you need, while minimising the amount of time you spend doing it. That's what I would call a win-win situation. Inspec is an extremely effective tool for performing this task. It provides tools which allow you to carry out a focused search, and it also provides the means to effectively review your results. I will now explain the features of Inspec which allows it to do this. The first thing to say is that Inspec specialises. This is not to say that researchers working in a wide range of different fields would not find the information in Inspec useful. They undoubtedly would. However, the content of the database has been carefully selected by our experienced production team because of its relevance to a relatively narrow set of subject areas. These are, as you see in the slide, physics, electrical and electronic engineering, computing and control engineering, information technology, and production, manufacturing, and mechanical engineering. Only documentation which is relevant to these subjects is included in the database. So by simply choosing to use Inspec, the user knows that they already be focusing their search in the subject areas which are most relevant to them. Of course, the selective nature of Inspec does not mean that the range of subjects that you can search for within the database are limited. Anyone searching for the information on any of the subjects you see in the slide will not be disappointed by the results. The second point to mention about Inspec is that it seeks to be comprehensive in the subject areas covered. Its content comes not only from journals and conferences, but you will find information related to books, reports, patents, dissertations, and even video. The selection criteria is simple. Source publications must be of high quality, peer-reviewed journals, for example, and subject matter must be relevant to the scope of the database, or the subject scope of the database. You will find references to documentation from a large range of publishers worldwide. Elsevier, Wiley, IEEE, for example. You will also find material sourced from smaller, lesser-known publishers. But together, they form a truly comprehensive source of information. A lot of effort goes into ensuring the comprehensive nature of Inspec. Publications, irrespective of where in the world they are published or by who, are included. The number of journals we cover changes year to year, but they tend to follow an upward trend. For 2013, over 4,500 individual journal titles are covered by the database, and this number is set to increase in future years. One question which is often asked about Inspec is how to get the full text. There is a number of ways of doing this. The digital object identifiers are a very convenient way of doing that. You will find these included in the majority of the papers that you will find in Inspec. It's not always easy to visualize what Inspec looks like exactly. What you see in the slide is an example of a single record that you will find in the database. And the records are what forms the backbone of Inspec. Each record will contain the information necessary for you to review the content of an article. It also contains the information which you will require to find the full text document. Finally, all of the indexing, which facilitates the searching of the database, is included. Now, if you think of almost 14 million records like this, this is what Inspec is. The database grows at a high rate. In 2012, we added 725,000 records, and that figure is set to increase for 2013. There is an optional archive which allows you to search back further through the database, and that adds almost another 900,000 records to those available to you. Inspec itself allows you to search back to 1969. It's the size of Inspec which gives a good reflection of how active researchers are in publishing their research, and also, of course, a good indication of how much information it is necessary to look through to find the material you need. Okay, to summarize so far, Inspec is a bibliographic database. It provides the tools for anyone interested in searching research quality information in the fields of physics, electrical, electronic engineering, etc. And it does this through the comprehensive coverage of documentation published in these fields. But this is only half the story. Despite the efforts to keep Inspec as focused as possible, there's still a huge amount of information to sift through in order to find the elusive papers that you need. To make this searching as effective as possible, Inspec provides a range of useful search tools. And these represent a major part of what we call the value add that our production team provide for publishing information. Primary among these tools is the Inspec thesaurus. As defined by Inspec, thesaurus terms are standardized words and phrases which describe technological and scientific concepts. Using them provides an extremely effective method of searching Inspec. They will result in more relevant answers than would be the case if keywords were used alone. There are over 9,000 thesaurus terms in total, over 18,000 if you include lead-ins. To give you an idea of how many this represents, I have a copy of a print version of the thesaurus here, and you can see just what a large volume this is. Of course, you will also find an electronic version of the thesaurus contained within the search platform. The terms are applied to the most relevant concepts described in a document by members of our production team. Our production team are highly qualified individuals, some to PhD level, and they work in quite narrow subject areas as defined by the Inspec work practices. This means that they become quite expert at recognizing technologies that they encounter, and no matter how they are described by the author of a document, the appropriate control terms are applied. This means that by using the control term in your search, you will recover information no matter how it is described by the author. So you are benefiting from the knowledge of our production team when you're using this tool. To keep the thesaurus up to date, it is reviewed annually. New terms are added, discontinued terms are removed. This is something that you need to be aware of when you're searching. So what can you use the thesaurus for? First of all, you can search with precision. Because the thesaurus terms are standardized, you will recover only the content which you are most interested in. Authors describe technologies in different ways. This can be down to cultural differences. An author based in the United States of America would be describing technologies differently than maybe an author based in Europe would do. But because the thesaurus terms are standardized, this can be used to overcome the problem. It also overcomes the problem of spelling differences. American English and British English has some differences, both in terms of spelling and in terminology. The thesaurus terms also give you the opportunity to review the content of answer sets. Once a search is carried out, you will find that there is a list of the most commonly occurring control terms appearing beside the answers. So you can use these to home in on exactly the technologies you are looking for and to understand the content much more easily. You can also use the record, or you can also use the control terms to quickly find records covering similar subjects. From an abstract contained within Inspec, you can click on the control terms contained, and that will quickly gather together other records of similar interest. And finally, the control terms can be used to effectively analyze large sets of results, which can help discover technology trends, for example. Another thing to be aware about for the thesaurus terms are that they're hierarchical. This means that you can search for general descriptions of particular technology, or you can search for more specific terms of, or you can search for more specific examples of a technology. You see a hierarchy here, an example of a hierarchy on the slide. And this is for the hierarchy of the subject area of microphones or acoustic devices. By searching broadly, such as using the term like acoustic devices, you will find general examples of acoustic devices. If you search more specifically, you will find results which are more in line with the specific technology of microphones. If you want to search comprehensively and find both general and specific examples of a technology, it would be necessary to search all of the terms together. You will also find in the thesaurus that there are what we call related terms. So these are other terms which you may like to add to your search because they have some significance to the search that you are primarily interested to. As well as the control terms, there are other indexing or value add indexing that we apply to Inspec. And these can be used very much in a way of supporting the thesaurus terms. Uncontrolled indexing, for example, can be used to search for very recent material added to the database. These would be technologies for which no thesaurus term has yet been applied. Classifications are similar in concept to the control terms. They can be used to restrict your search to the a relatively narrow part of the database. Treatment types allow you to search for abstracts written in a particular style. Whether an author is writing about a theoretical concept or they're talking about an experiment that they have conducted, they will write in a different style. The treatment types allow you to home in on one of 9 different styles which an author might write in. And then we have some specific indexing tools which are designed to help search with for subject areas which are traditionally difficult to find information on. These are chemical indexing, which can be used to search for inorganic chemical information, numerical indexing, which can be used to search numerical data, and if you're interested in astronomy, there is also astronomical object indexing, which allows you to search for astronomical objects which occur outside our own solar system. So those are the full suite of search tools which are included within Inspec. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. We have a range of documentation which you can access on our website, and we also run a help desk which you can use to contact us with any queries that you might have about the database. I now want to do a quick demonstration of a search on the Engineering Village platform for Inspec. You can see that you can search a number of different databases on Engineering Village, including Compendex, Inspec, NTIS, and ReferX. To conduct a search on Inspec alone, it is necessary to tick just the Inspec box. This will give you access to the widest range of search tools available on the database. You have a search boxes in which you can enter the scope of your search, and you can select the individual fields that you want to search. So for example, if it is an author you're interested in searching for, you can search just within the author information of the database. If it's subject material, you can search just within the descriptive parts of the database. And the broadest option is to search throughout everything in a record. You have limiting options which allow you to restrict a search to particular types of publication. If it's just journals you're interested, you can restrict to that, or conferences, you can restrict to those. Treatment types, which is one of the value-add features of Inspec, you can restrict a search to one of 9 different treatment types. You can also restrict the search to particular subject areas. And because Inspec gathers information internationally, not all of the documents that the records refer to are written in English. Of course, the records will be written in English, or the abstracts contained within the records will be written in English, but the full text might not be. So if there's a particular document that you're interested in that you know is written in a language other than English, you can restrict your search using a language limit feature. You also have some useful browse indexes which can be very useful in terms of searching author information, for example. This allows you to enter a few names of a person's name, a few letters of a person's name, and then find an alphabetically arranged list through which you can select the particular authors that you're interested in. As you see, when I select the term, these appear in the search box beside. Oh. Sorry. So my demonstration is related to the thesaurus terms. One of the easiest ways to find a suitable thesaurus term for the subject that you're interested in is to do a quick keyword search to begin with. So for example, if I'm looking for material related to the subject area of rechargeable batteries, I can type in a keyword search. I can use truncation if I need to broaden the search. So using the star or asterisk symbol, this will recover records related to rechargeable batteries. I can then hit search and a list of results will appear. The results all refer to documentation contained within Inspec. I can view each individual record in turn by clicking on the abstract or the detailed button. I can also quickly review the content of the answer set using what is called a faceted search on the left-hand side of the screen. As I scroll down here, I see that there's an entry for controlled vocabulary. This is where you will find the thesaurus terms. And by expanding that list, you will see that the most commonly applied control terms are listed in order of number. Right at the top of the list is the term for secondary cells, and this is actually the control term that is used for rechargeable batteries. So I can choose to restrict or to refine the search that I've already done to limit the search just to those containing secondary cells, or I can go back to the search page and rerun the search using secondary cells instead of rechargeable batteries. Another way of carrying out a thesaurus search is to go straight to the thesaurus. This has the benefit of showing you all of the terms which will be contained within the hierarchy. So again, I will select the thesaurus for Inspec. And again, I want to find the term related to rechargeable batteries. So I just input a phrase, hit submit, and you'll see that I have a term appears in the search box. Now this is what I call a lead-in. It's not a control term itself, but it will direct me to the control term which I should use in order to search Inspec with. And there we see that we have the term for secondary cells. By clicking on that, I have the full entry for secondary cells. And I can see the hierarchical terms, or the more general terms, the more specific, narrower terms, which I can use to include in my search. The related terms are also there. And to search these, I simply select the control terms I want to include in my search. Each term will appear in the search box below. I can limit according to the limits available to me in the quick search option. And I can use Boolean logic and or to either broaden the search or make it more specific. When I'm happy with the search, I hit run. And instead of having a few thousand records, you can see that I have 32,909 records. So this will contain information related to a much wider range of publications than would have been the case just using keywords. It would be more focused and it would be more accurate. Okay, so that concludes my demonstration. I'd like to thank you for listening.